Hello everybody, this is Carla and this time I'm back with another review for the ABC TV show Castle. This time I'm doing episode 3 of season 8, which was titled PhDead. And now, as someone who has been through graduate school, I have to admit that the title of the episode made me chuckle. It was kind of cute. But as for the episode itself, there were sparse moments that made me laugh, but then the whole thing kind of felt too jokey, not necessarily in the good way, especially at the beginning. At the end it got better, but still, like, the beginning was a little like they were trying too hard. Of course this is Castle, so you go in knowing that he's going to get into crazy hijinks and whatnot. And of course, since he's without Beckett at the moment, he doesn't have anybody to kind of rein him in. So his attempt to get her back by way of, solving cases alongside her again, it's a cute thought, but at the same time, I was like, I feel like in real life people who are going through this would take it a little bit too seriously. And I do agree with a lot of the characters who said that, if Beckett gave him space the previous year, then he should give her the space she's requested. At the same time, I know that he can't wait forever, but it's been like one day. So it does feel a bit reactionary that he's just trying to get her back when they haven't even been apart for one day. Of course, this is Castle, so yeah, he does that kind of stuff. So I do see the cute side of it. He loves her so much that he just doesn't wanna let her go in a way, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying. And just the entire episode felt like it didn't take itself seriously, which is, they pulled off crazy stunts in this show. I remember back a few seasons when they turned the entire precinct into a 70s show. This is the kind of stuff that happens in Castle, and you know it, but usually the tone of it is different. And this time around, I don't know, I expect Castle to go with it, kind of, and I expect there to be a really good reason for them to go with it, but this time around it's just like, oh yeah, let's put Ryan and Espo just in 21 Jump Street costumes and pretend they're college boys when they're obviously not. Come on, let's have some sense here. They do not look like college boys. And I did laugh when the frat guy called them out on it. That was funny, and their expressions were hilarious, but at the same time, the idea just stays that why would they even do that in the first place? Because they just cannot pass as college boys. They just can't. Also, just the idea of Castle letting Alexis do whatever it needs to be done in order to get clues. I love that Alexis is becoming really assertive, and I know that she's just like really partners with her father because she's so smart and she's so kick-ass, and she can do a lot of things that Castle just can't do. And I like that, but at the same time, I don't think that Castle would be willing to just let her go just like that. So, it's kind of a double-sided thing. On the one hand, I'm glad that Alexis is standing up on her own and just demonstrating what a great woman, how capable, how smart, and how determined she is. But at the same time, Castle, she's your daughter. You have to kind of think about it. And I don't think normally it would happen. I get that Castle is not thinking straight, but I just think it's one of those things that the writers sort of just threw out and then tried to rationalize. So it should be the other way around. Same with Espo and Ryan. that sort of stuff. And then again, speaking of Espo and Ryan, they got together with Castle against Beckett's orders at first, because Castle had Alexis and she could get them the information that they couldn't get. But then they just continued against Beckett's orders. And I'm just like, really? You're not even gonna explain that? I mean, Castle made it inside the frat house anyway, so it's not like Alexis was the key to the whole thing. I don't know, it felt like they were just throwing things out for the heck of it, kind of, just to make it funny, but then it wasn't. I mean, you have this whole underground mental experiment prison thing. Like, it was a huge facility. Like, it was a whole place. And a bunch of students were there, both guards and prisoners, and nobody knows about this. Like, seriously? These are college students. They're not just, I don't know, people who don't have anybody who will think to call them and ask them what they're doing and look for them if they go missing. You know, I don't really get it. And things like Castle just buying his way into a professor position. Sure, it happens, just not in one day. Was it all like really fast? He just went to talk to the dean that morning, and then all of a sudden he has a class. Really? I don't know, it just felt like they were throwing things out just for the heck of it, and not really because it worked, you know? Of course, in the end, I did like in the end when Castle and Beckett got to talking and they solved the case together, because they really are stronger together. And that was a heartfelt moment that they had in that prison. I never thought I'd say this, but yes, in the prison. But I don't know, it wasn't really enough to balance it out. And then there's the whole Beckett thing, which, yay, Bikram is still around. I like Bikram. He's really cool. And I love that he's still working alongside Beckett to solve this whole thing. But just, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they've explained enough why she isn't allowing Castle into this thing. I mean, it's just, after all they've been through, you would figure that, you know, she shouldn't hide things from him. They shouldn't hide things from each other. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I just don't see the stakes yet. I know, theoretically, I know that they sent someone in to kill her last time. And, but that was apparently solved. But of course she still wants to look for the person in question. I get it, but I kind of don't see the stakes of it yet. It's complicated, because I understand Beckett's need to know, but at the same time I don't understand her need to keep Castle away. Okay, yes, you're going to try to uncover some really dark secrets here, but at the same time, you don't really know what you're going to find. I mean, obviously the uncertainty is what's killing Beckett here. She doesn't know what she's getting into, so she doesn't want to drag Castle into it at the same time. But there are ways, and I'm not entirely sure that I get why she's trying to keep herself separate, especially since everybody and their freaking dog seems to know that Castle and Beckett are married, because it happened like 4 times in this episode alone. Everybody seems to know they're married. She's still the captain of the precinct. I mean, she's digging around after hours with Vikram, eventually she's gonna be found out. And if she's gonna be found out, the fact that she's not sleeping in Castle's bed anymore is not gonna do a thing. So I don't really get the idea of her splitting from him. I don't really get the secrecy either. At least if Castle knew at least the general gist of it, he might be able to find her if something happened to her. I mean, shouldn't she have learned that from the last time? Come on. I don't really get what the stakes are here. I am guessing that after more starts coming out of this subplot, it will become more apparent. But for the moment, I just don't understand her hesitation. Maybe I'm just being a bit hard on her, but I just think I've been watching this show for so long that I really do believe that they deal better with the uncertainty when they're together, and especially if keeping him in the dark isn't going to help any if she's found out. So I guess we'll see. Also, I just want to put this out there. The photo of this ghost guy, it might be the angle. Like, I might just be seeing things because of the angle the picture is in, the shadows and whatever, but it looks an awful lot like Christopher Eccleston of Doctor Who fame. And if it turns out to be him, I will freak out, okay? Because Castle being in the same show as the Doctor, mind blown. I'm not sure, I might be wrong again, but it would be interesting. It will be interesting to see who he is when they actually find him, so I'm looking forward to that. All in all, this episode wasn't really one of my favorites. It had its funny moments, but in general, I just thought the writing was a bit weak. Like they were trying a bit too hard, I guess. So, not one of my favorites, but we'll see what happens when the plot starts moving along. So that's it for now. I also have a few more reviews of Castle from last season and this season. So if you guys want to check those out, go visit our website at thegeekypub.com. And we also have reviews for other TV shows, movies, books, you name it, we got it. So be sure to check that out. And that's it for now. So bye.